Good morning and good afternoon. While everyone joins, I would love for you to drop in the chat, what is the one thing you want to get out of today to use in your business to grow? I know everyone comes here for a reason, so it's always good to have an idea of how we can meet you where they are, as they say. All right, Mike, let's see what some of those answers are.
All right, what's happened? I don't hear it.
All right, let's see here. I'm just going up.
Shit.
Why can't you hear it? I can hear it.
Yeah, but it's not in my earphones, and you're hearing it.
I don't care.
Hold on, let me mute Dave. Dave, we can hear you.
I can't hear you though.
I know. I gotta mute you though here. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right, Chirag. We got all kinds of great answers actually right now. Gain more knowledge, processes, everything from I want to understand how to use the platform. This one I love, Lauren Geisler, finding more listings and sellers, perfect for presentation. Let's see here, become more knowledgeable about the three-phase marketing program, use private exclusive effectively. We're definitely going to cover that today. More comfortable explaining the three-phase marketing. We're definitely going to go there as far as confidence in what to say and how to say it. Understanding the magic of the platform, trusting the tech process. I get that. Let's see here. Residential is new for me, so a little bit of everything. Angela, welcome. Love it. We've got all kinds of stuff. So,
all right, so let's get started. We have a fun day planned for you with lots of information that you can use now, right? So, they always say, what's the best time to get started is today. So that will be our mantra for our conversation today. So look, today's about you, and I'll tell you, for some people who've never met me before, my name is Chirag Shah. I'm the founder of Chirag Shah Coaching. What most people don't know about me is I was a real estate agent, just like many of you. I got my license at 23 years old. And when I tell you I had no idea what I was doing in any kind of professional setting, the first networking event I went to, I always share this now, is I had black shoes and white socks and people laughed at me. So I've gone on this journey of learning information for many years, right? So eventually I launched my own brokerage. Compass acquired it in 2018. I worked there 2 years as the director of coaching and training. And some of the work that I'm most proud of that I did at Compass was I came up with this program called Pitching Compass, essentially how people sell the value of Compass to their clients, right? I had 2 years there as the director of coaching and training. And on April 1st of 2020, most people remember that as the beginning of the pandemic. I remember that as the beginning of my coaching business. So thanks to the amazing partnership of our clients and community, we have grown in the last 5+ years to over 1,000 agents in 38 different states, and we only work with Compass agents. So it's pretty cool that every day that our communities are protected, where people can collaborate without ego, learn from reality, and openly share what they do with others. And the reason I share this with you, and that we've done this for more than 17,000 hours, is everything we're sharing with you today and in our programs is what's working now, right? So there is no ambiguity, there is no guesswork. And when you've been working on the same platform for 6.5+ years, you're able to nicely package and gift wrap things to people like we will today, so that you can ultimately grow your business, right? So let's think about a roadmap for today: positioning, three-phase marketing, the 9 benefits and reasons, an actual process to follow, pre-marketing scripts and scenarios, right? It is, and from my perspective, it is so important for you all to know exactly what to say when you go on your next appointment. Gathering feedback. This is something that I think has so much room for opportunity. The property launch formula in Compass three-phase marketing, and using AI to create marketing that attracts clients, right? So that's always a fun thing that we like to cover towards the end. So here's our promise, both on our training session and both in our coaching program, is you can grow your business with one 60-minute coaching session, right? What to say, what to send, what to do next, no guesswork, just action, right? Because I think there's such an oversaturation of information that all of us here in all walks of life. And I think all of us are the same in the sense of, okay, what am I going to do to grow my business next or now? Right. So I find that's generally where people are. And look, what today's not about is learning about the features and functions of Compass three-phase marketing. Like that's not the purpose of this session. The purpose is understanding how to use Compass three-phase marketing to pitch and win new listings for the spring market. I don't think there's ever been a more important time of the year to really dial in your pitch, right? And if you know how to pitch this the right way, I don't believe you should lose any listing that you don't want to take. Now, if you think about three-phase marketing, I think from the agent's perspective, there's 4 distinct benefits, right? You can win more listings, you can earn full commissions, you can create a better client experience, and ultimately set yourself apart from the competition, right? And when you're able to do this, I think about the agent of yesterday, and I think about the agent of the future. There are a lot of people that get stuck on, well, it's a lot of work. Why can't I put it on the market? Well, here's the reality. The people that are doing this now are going to have more of these 4 things. The people that are not doing it now are going to have less of these 4 things. Why am I saying this? Great question. Because here's the thing. I have to see who has their camera on. If myself and Marion Philly, I see Marion's on here. She's an old friend. If myself and Marion Philly are going on a listing pitch, right? And Marion, who is the #1 agent in her market and innovative, is using Compass three-phase marketing. She'll have 3, 4, 5 stories about this to share with her clients. And I don't. Who do you think the client's more inclined to work with? Especially if she knows how to effectively communicate the benefits in the context of what the client wants, right? So this is not just about now. This is about building yourself a better future. Hit yes in the chat if you are 100% aligned with what we're saying, right? We want to make sure we're all on the same page because I don't want this point to get overlooked because look, part of growth is building not just for today and not being transactional, it's building for the future, right? 81%, pretty crazy statistic, right? So if you think about this, if you don't know how to do Compass three-phase marketing, 81% of the clients that have used it have sold at or above asking without being on the MLS. That is a crazy statistic, right? So it's on us to understand how to effectively communicate the value, right? So if you think about this, your confidence. When you go on a pitch, the greatest thing you can have is confidence, is being able to effectively communicate the value of Compass three-phase marketing in the context of how it benefits a client. And that really is a gap between you winning the listing or being listed by somebody else. So I'm pausing, right? Just to let this all kind of just settle in. So I believe, and we've seen with our clients around the country, people that are pitching this effectively, some people just go right to the Compass three-phase marketing and they're done, right? That's it. So now between Compass One and Compass three-phase marketing, there's some really interesting ways for us to pitch ourselves. All right, so let's go through the marketing blueprint, right? The Compass three-phase marketing blueprint. Here's the first concept that you need to understand. Everyone talks about features and benefits. You know, people want the destination, right? Why do you think people love helicopters so much? Because they literally bring you as close to the destination as possible, right? But if you have to travel to a destination, you have to pack your suitcase, you have to get ready, you have to take a car or drive to the airport, you have to get out, you have to go through security, you have to check your bags, you have to wait for the flight, you have to board the flight, then you have to wait for it to take off, you have to wait for it to land, then it has to connect to a terminal, you have to get off the plane, you have to get your bags, wait for a car. Like when you go on a listing appointment and you're just talking about features, that's what somebody hears. It's that whole long process. And the only thing they're thinking about is how do you get me to where I want, right? So if we think about this through the feature benefit destination model that we like to share, is what's the feature, right? Compass three-phase marketing allows you to gather valuable feedback. What is the benefit? You can make adjustments before you go live. What's the destination? They want the best first impression, maximize demand that ultimately drives maximizing the equity in their home. Feature, benefit, destination. The more you can talk through Your presentation based on the client's destination, you win. All day, every day, simple period, end of story. So this, I'll say, is one of the most important things. It's a mindset on the secrets of selling value. There's perceived value and actualized value. So perceived value is what you feel you offer. So I could look at myself as a coach. I could say that I've been an agent. I have 17,000 hours coaching at Compass. I literally created the program on how people sell Compass and the technology to people. We work with thousands of agents. I've worked with many of the top teams in the country doing upwards of $500 million of transactions. We have a platform that has over 500 pieces of content and training and an AI search that lets you find anything you want like this. Our business is integrated, going to be integrated to Compass World. You know how much that means? It means zero. It means absolutely nothing. Do you know what means everything? Actualized value. That based on this training, what you feel and understand that you're truly receiving. That's all just stuff. And the gap between the stuff and actualized value is the words you use. But the biggest challenge we have in sharing our value is, you know, the whole NAR statement, we need to show our value as an industry. Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Showing your value is about you. It's projecting your fears, doubts, worries, and lack of confidence. Also, you get into this area where you don't know all the tools in your tool belt. So you fail to focus on the seller needs, right? You talk too much before knowing the seller's priority. So here's the thing. The secret to selling value is practicing your pitch. As Kobe Bryant said, we'll never be good at anything that we don't practice, right? So when I think about agents, your value proposition has to be able to change in real time based on what somebody wants. But if we don't practice, we don't know the words, we don't have the confidence, it becomes much harder to do. So then we go to our default mechanism is let me just offer more stuff and talk, because if I offer them everything, they're going to want all of it and they're going to work with me. And I think all of it and everything does not mean more is better, right? It's not how clients think. It also could create overwhelm. All right, let's talk about positioning three-phase marketing, right? So if you think about this, what do? Compass three-phase marketing, right? What is the direct benefit? And write this down, a launch strategy to maximize the equity in your home. So I'd say to Angelo, would it be okay if I shared with you the launch strategy to maximize the equity in your home, right? That's the destination your client wants. They don't want more stuff. You know, we were in a training and somebody says, if I tell my clients I put their house on Compass coming soon on compass.com, they don't care. They do not care. You know, the old saying, with them, what's in it for me? That's what they're thinking about. So let's get into the actual pitch. Now, this is going to get very tactical. It's going to get very specific. This is things that you can use in the next appointment that you go on. So you have had a listing appointment this afternoon, great, you can use this. You have a listing appointment tomorrow, great, you can use this. You have a listing appointment Saturday, great, you can use this. Or next week. This is all applicable stuff you can do to win a listing the next time you go on. So let's go through the framework. Now, you need to understand the benefits, right? We're going to share with you 9 distinct reasons and 9 distinct benefits. We have to be able to internalize these. And if you haven't memorized them, don't not bring them on a piece of paper and read off of them. I think that people really overvalue how well memory is. So if I said to Nancy, hey, Nancy, I wrote down 9 really important things I'd like to go over with you. Can you take a moment and let me know which ones you think align with your goals the most? They're going to do it. And they're like, oh, wow, she took the time to be prepared. So people think having printed materials that they read off of or look at are a sign of weakness. In many people's eyes, it's a sign of preparation, right? Like when you master it, I can share Nancy the list and speak from it from memory as if I was reading the paper. That's level 2, but you got to get to level 1. The second one is effectively communicating the benefits. We want to communicate the benefits in the context of what the client wants, right? Think about that. Everyone selling a house wants different things. Some people want convenience. Some people want time. Some people want to squeeze every dollar out. Some people just want it to be done quickly. Some people are not in a rush. There's all kinds of different people, right? So you need to understand how to play the person and not show up with a canned approach that you just throw everything against the wall. And the second one, having a clear plan of execution. Now, I would sit here and visually map this all out in some sort of timeline, add in visuals, so clients can see what they're getting, right? So when they have a visual, is it clear what you offer? Yes. Is it concise and specific what they get? Absolutely. Is it quantifiable? Yeah. People will pay you for things that are quantifiable. All right. Let's get into questions that people ask you. Who has ever been asked, what is a private exclusive? Simple. It's a strategic way to market your home. It'll help generate momentum, targeted feedback, and position your home to maximize the equity from the market. It's a typo. That's it. Direct, concise, benefit driven. They're going to say, oh, okay, that works. Now, here are the 9 reasons that people do a private exclusive. And based on all of our experiences, we're all going to have different ideas. We're all going to have different ways that we want to think through this. But these are 9 distinct reasons that people actually use, right? So the first one is a protected marketing period. They don't want to get days on market. They also sometimes, for higher end properties, want a bespoke marketing strategy. There's some really unique things that you can do when it's only going to your colleagues at Compass. The exclusivity effect. The last time I checked, you look at Hermes, people will pay a ton of money for things not available to everyone else. And I think with this whole clear cooperation thing, if they felt it was disadvantage to a seller not to be able to offer out blanket commission, they couldn't negotiate it. How can you say any of these reasons are not worse? Right? Like in the sense of it's far worse if they're not able to do this than negotiating buyer agents commissions. So for all of us, we want to know how to do this. Curated buyer lists, right? You can really target people. And when you go to market, you can have a curated buyer list and then invite everybody there, and that'll help drive up the price. Schedule flexibility. If you've ever sold your home, you truly know how much it sucks to sit around and wait for somebody 30 minutes before to run around to get your house ready. Then they might cancel. Like, it's a less intrusive process. The seller holds all the negotiation power. Look at this statistic, from Compass in 2024. 81% of listings that went to coming soon that didn't sell on the MLS sold at or above the asking price. You're telling me that there's not stats that give sellers negotiation power? It's not true. Concierge level approach, right? There's so many detailed little things that you can do for clients in this process that they'll grow to appreciate and see the value in what you have to offer. And the last one is profile privacy. Not everyone wants to put their home on all these websites. Quite frankly, most people don't know. I got an email from a house that I sold 14 years ago. 14 years ago. And actually, no, it was probably more than that. Maybe 15, 16 years ago. And the woman said, I have recently bought this house and I've been spending so much time trying to get all of the listings, the pictures, the videos off the internet because I don't feel it's safe someone seeing all the entry points in my home. Can you please take your YouTube video down? It's like, wow. So I reached out to her and had a conversation. I was like, how hard is it to do? She goes, I literally almost had to hire a private company and spend thousands of dollars. I've been trying to do this for 3 weeks. People value privacy, right? Now, take a moment and read these 9 distinct benefits. All right, this is where the real fun begins. Who here felt like that silence was a long time? Anybody? Hit yes if the silence is like, wow, like we're just sitting here, like what's going on? Look, that was like 15, 17 seconds, right? It was not a long time. So one of the things that we want to go through with you is teaching you how to help your clients internalize things, right? Because if you don't, all of your information is like a water bottle that's overflowing. right? There's an actual tactical way based on behavioral psychology, right? So if I ask Selena which one of these benefits she likes, and then she identifies which benefits she likes, and then I have a conversation about those benefits with her, what does she say in her brain? Wow, these are the things I wanted. My agent offered me these exact things. This is a good fit. But you need to give people time with the information. So I would share with people, and I need you all to internalize these 9 benefits and these 9 reasons. Now, you're not going to do it in a day, right? It's going to take a little time, but here are the 9 reasons that people go private exclusive and 3-phase marketing, and here are the 9 benefits. So people could agree and use a culmination of a multitude of these, right? All right, so now let's get into actual scenarios and what you do, right? Before sharing your pre-marketing plan, would you agree that homes that get the greatest buyer demand get the best price? Simple question, correct? We can all ask. Would it be okay if I showed you the exact 3-step process to achieve that result? You're done. You take the 9 reasons or the 9 benefits, you send them over, and then you ask them, like, let me know which ones were most interesting to you and happy to dive in further. They tell you what they want, you're finished. Listing appointment. Would it be okay if I shared with you the 9 benefits of pre-marketing? Yes, or the 9 reasons you should pre-market. You literally take the piece of paper like this, slide it over, say, George, Selena, please take a few moments to read this over and let me know which ones you feel will help you reach your goals and meet your expectations. And they're going to say, well, I want privacy. I really want to have control over negotiation. I feel the inventory is low. People just start talking, but great. Is it okay with you if I share with you exactly the plan on how we would help you achieve that goal? Repeat back their goal. Is this hard for any of us to do? Because the thing that I wanted to share is if you know the right questions to ask, have the right materials to give, this all just gets easier. All right, let's go into more areas of how you can use this. Now, I'm going to sign this over, right? Send over. Now, my clients, George and Selena, thank you guys. They're going to say, you know what, like we really value privacy, Chirag, but we also want to make sure that we're in negotiation, like we have negotiation power, right? And that things happen in our own time. I would say, okay, great. Like, so privacy is important. Want things to happen in your own time. You have negotiation powers. Like, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what does success in each area look like for you? And they'll start getting into it. And they'll start talking about what they want, how they want it, what they think the benefits are. And literally what you guys don't realize is subconsciously, they're literally talking themselves into all the benefits of working with you without you ever saying anything. See, because you get to explain all of this information, it's a lot, right? Like I say here, it keeps the sale confidential, right? And from there, we like to minimize frequent showings. You're not sitting around your house all the time just waiting. And we only engage serious and pre-qualified buyers. Then we let you dictate your pace, and it creates this exclusivity and urgency, and it's a customer, like it's too much information, right? The thing I want all of us to walk away with is addition by subtraction, and that drives to simplification. Hit yes if you feel that you can simplify all. I don't find this to be that complicated, right? And if you have a question, you feel stuck, you feel free to let me know. We'll 100% go back to that in the end. Now, the next scenario. What is a private exclusive? It's an opportunity to start our marketing campaign strategically and build momentum. Would it be okay if I share with you some benefits with you? Slide the thing over, sit there in silence, let them read, and then engage them on the things that are most important for them and explain to them what you're going to do and how it's going to benefit them. Next scenario, can I do a private exclusive and a Compass coming soon, depending on the information they were said that you sent, what happened in the conversation? Absolutely, they work hand in hand. Would you like me to explain how? Yes. Private exclusive, you test the market, you gather feedback. Compass coming soon, an enhanced digital marketing campaign to agents and the public. How do you think this strategy will impact maximizing the equity for your home? And again, they're going to tell you what they want, why they want it, and what your benefit is. Now, what's the difference between private exclusive and Compass coming soon? These we call like objections or places where people get stuck. Simple. Private exclusive is a discrete launch phase to our internal Compass network. Compass coming soon, launch to a broader agent audience. Start with private exclusive, builds momentum. Does that make sense? And now one of the things that you really want to emphasize in the coming soon area is the agent to agent marketing. 90% of properties are co-broked via the MLS. So if we're not marketing to agents, who are we really marketing to? 10%. But clients happen to think, until we introduce the concept, that why would somebody market to agents? People think that you only market to the public. Now, do you feel that a multiple launch strategy will help maximize the equity in your home? They're going to say yes. The maximize the equity is the destination they want to get to. All right, let's go through the property launch formula. List your home as a private exclusive. You need to create an event, invite your colleagues, get a sponsor for food and drinks. Believe me, there are plenty of people that all of you give money to every year in businesses, and they need to invest back into yours. And so the other part is be specific on what you're asking feedback for. And we'll talk about how to ask for good feedback, how to use it, how to get your clients to take action with it. Then you transition to Compass coming soon. It's literally like flipping a button. But this is where we really want to dial into our agent to agent marketing campaign, right? I'd be looking at whether it's the MLS or Compass portal on every single person that bought a home in the last 12 to 36 months. And I would start marketing to those people, those agents that had those clients in that area, right? Because agents have a lot of the buyers. Now, while you're doing that, I encourage you to run a digital advertising campaign across Google, Facebook, and Instagram, because there's an amazing thing called Insights Reports, which shows people the result of your marketing. Now, when you launch your property on the market, you will want to create a neighbors only open house. Generally 30 minutes before, because if you really want to drive the price of your client's house, do private exclusive with Compass agents and say, you know what, I'm not really sure if my client's going to put this on the market or go to the next phase or go to the MLS, but I'm happy to present your offer. Phase one, take no offers, price competitively. Phase two, same thing. Happy to share your offer. Now my client's going on to the market. The first open house is next Saturday, and they'll take offers after that. If you have weird MLS rules, you put it on a Friday that lets you at least market till Tuesday, make the first open house on Saturday, invite all the neighbors, plus the people from phase one and phase two. And guess what? You have a party of FOMO in that house. Make sense, everybody? All right. So here's the deal. Here's the number one reason that your pre-marketing fails is due to bad marketing. Has anyone seen some of these real estate property descriptions? They're pretty crazy. It says Center Hall Colonial on tree-lined street. Like I'm going to wake up and say, hey, honey, let's go take all of our money and go buy that Center Hall Colonial on a tree-lined street. You might as well just say old house with bugs. That's really what it is, right? All those trees drive mosquitoes. This is not how people think, right? Clients connect with stories and experiences people can have in homes. If you've been doing real estate for a long time, you realize one thing. Everyone goes in a house for a particular type of experience, right? And based on that experience, the more we can connect the home, the star of the show, with those experiences through captivating marketing, it connects buyers, right? Because if buyers want stories and experiences, and everyone has an idea of what home ownership or that home dream will be like, if we connect our marketing to those right people, we win. So what does this actually look like? All right. This is a ChatGPT workflow. This is how you create great marketing. So I would go into ChatGPT. I use the 4.0 version, right? It's $20 a month. Please, no one ask me if it's worth it. We buy $20 salads every day. Of course it's worth it, right? So I say, please learn everything about the information on this website and the specific benefits to complete your next test. I put the link in to the Compass 3-phase marketing site, right? From there, this is where it gets fun. I need you to draw the similarities to what we offer at Compass to an Apple product launch and share talking points I can use with my clients who are considering selling their homes so they can hire me and feel what I'm doing is like having an Apple product launch for their home. Everyone loves Apple launches, right? Now I would go in there and say, I need you to create me a full marketing plan, including emails, social posts for this listing, following the formula you shared. And then you literally just paste the listing link in, right? Then after that, it's going to put some long thing out that's like the old real estate marketing of Center Hall, Tree Loin Colonials. Like, so what we want to do is, can you highlight storytelling in the emails and can you highlight the storytelling in the emails and social posts to highlight the experiences buyers can have in this home to create intrigue and demand, right? Experiences buyers can have in this home to create intrigue and demand. Now, look at this email that came out. Take a moment, let this ingest in. A home that tells a story before it even hits the market. An exclusive first look at a home built for connection. Imagine waking up to sunlight streaming through oversized windows, the scent of fresh coffee filling the air as you step into a sleek, open kitchen, your parents visiting for the week, enjoying the privacy of their own suite, sipping tea on the covered terrace. This is more than just a house. It's a space designed for connection where every moment is effortless. A home where multi-generation living just doesn't work, it thrives. As a Compass private exclusive, this home is only available to a select network before the world sees. If you want first access before it officially hits the market, let's talk. Hit yes or no in the chat if you feel this is more effective email copy than what you normally see, like 2-bed, 2-bath in great neighborhood, 2-bed, 2-bath in Westport neighborhood, 2-bed, 2-bath, 3 beds, 2 baths, Greenwich Village, right? So if you think about this, great marketing involves telling stories. And these are just a few prompts. Like, you can sit here and get all your social posts, storyboard them out, figure out how to market to agents, teach it about your neighborhood. There's so many different great ways that you can leverage AI to create effective marketing. Because here's the reality. If you have really bad marketing for a private exclusive, it's not going to work the way that you want it to work, right? So if you don't have mass portal exposure, you really need to market things, right? So we know how to market to our colleagues, but we want to stand out with everybody. So one, you can use all the stuff you learned in the beginning, the 9 reasons, 9 benefits, literally on your pitch here today to win a new piece of business. Now, you can use the storytelling with your existing clients and new clients, right? A lot of our clients actually print this out and says, do you think these type of emails for marketing are more effective than this? Literally, I would show them your old email and your new one because the old one's probably not like this, right? Homes tell stories. And remember, when you take a video of a house, a picture of a house, like, the home is the star. This makes the home the star. So if you had a video, you could put it in here. If you had some pictures, you could put it in here. Now, here's the secrets of gathering feedback, right? So now we know how to do marketing. We're getting ready for our first private exclusive event. And now we tell our clients, like, hey, this is a great way to test your pricing. We're going to get feedback. But here's the statement. You need to measure what matters, right? Which means you need to be specific on what feedback you want to get. Are you looking at, do the spaces feel cluttered? Do you need to take a Compass Concierge loan to do minor upgrades? How does the house flow? It's the most expensive house in the neighborhood. Is that going to impact people based on the local market you're in? And just remember, The sole purpose of data is to make future decisions off of it. And the only way to do that is what I call purpose, outcome, next step. You need to align with the seller on the purpose of the feedback, the ideal outcome of the feedback, and the next step. Because if not, the clients feel like, boom, Jessica, why are you telling me all this? Like, now we're here and you're going to say this, and this. No. Hey, the purpose of this is to measure and test blank, 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 and blank. The outcome is we'll have approximately this many agents come here. They'll be able to give feedback on blank, 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 blank. And then you and I need to discuss making real adjustments if needed based on blank, 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 blank is the things that they're going to offer. Make sense, everybody? All right, good. Now, here's just a couple tips. Always start by asking the right questions to uncover the seller's priorities. Present your services through their lens. Ensure your values aligned with their goals, right? So we all need confidence in pitching Compass three-phase marketing. We all need to demonstrate through our actual working framework on how to share the benefits in the context of what's important to the client. We also need to understand, like, what are we collecting feedback on? I remember the first time as an agent, I got a call. It's like, do you have feedback? I'm like, feedback on what? Like, what are you talking about? No one taught me this in real estate school, right? And then the other one is you need to build trust with your clients by focusing on their highest priorities, right? These are the single most important things you can do. Now, I'm going to share with you one other thing before we open it up to questions and I bring on Mike to share some additional stuff with you is, look, here's the number one reason people's commissions get cut, right? They don't know what the client wants. So then they can't get them to self-identify. These are the 4, the 5, the 3, the 2 benefits I want. And then they talk about everything. So one of two things happen that we all don't like. They either don't hire us because they think we're the wrong agent, and then they hire somebody much worse, or they ask for a discount. Now, the reason those two things happen is if I want 4 things and you offer me 7 things, I might just be like, oh, that's too much stuff. That's not the way that, you know, that I work. And so, you know what? Not the right agent, right? I don't need to work with Chirag. Or if I offer 8 things, they want 4 things, but we don't need the other 4 things. Why don't we just reduce his fee? This is why it's so important to take what you learn, practice it, and use it. So, Mike, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we have a few good ones, in fact. The first one, Brian Holmes asked about timelines when it comes to recommendations, the days between an exclusive to the coming soon to then going live. Do you have a recommendation around that, or can you maybe address how they would create that recommendation with their client?
Yep. The first one is I would meet them where they are, meaning if it's a private exclusive and they're looking to find a new home and they're starting to shop, I would leave it on there longer, right? So there's no harm, no foul, no days on market. The second thing is I would really align with the seller on what is the purpose of the private exclusive, right? Whether we're testing price, condition, whatever it is, the ideal outcome and next step, right? So I encourage people, if they can, explain this to their clients. It's not always best just to do it for 2 days, right? Like we want to use this strategically as an advisor and have an actual plan behind it. So it could be anywhere from a minimum of a week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Sometimes it's more than a month.
Great. And then the next one is just when it comes to creating a ChatGPT storyline, do you like to change it between, you know, pre-marketing or, you know, the coming soons to then what you might actually put on the MLS, or do you use the same one for both?
It depends how good the story is, right? Like if it's a great story that I connected with, I would use it in both, right? So the nice part is you can test your marketing copy to see how it's relating to people and brokers.
Love it. It looks like that's it for right now as far as questions. Anybody else have questions, stick them in the chat here. That way we can address them when it comes to the 3-phase. Lots of great interaction though from everyone. Really appreciate that, and some really good comments.
We want to make sure to give them a new framework on how to talk about this, because I think from my perspective, it gets complicated, right? Like the more you get in the weeds with all this stuff. But in the end, if you go back, Mike, you ask a few great questions, you give them the right materials, you let them listen, you let them internalize it, they share what they want, you meet them where they are, and the story goes on. So look, at this point, I want to first and foremost say thank you for everyone just being here. So for the people that came here just to learn about Compass, 3-phase marketing, learn something new that they could bring into their business today, I believe we've delivered on that promise and that you can grow your business in 60 minutes or less. And for those of you who want additional support for all areas of your business and not just Compass three-phase marketing, I'm going to bring Mike on now, who is the architect of our program. So either way, whatever you guys decide to choose, we love you. We support you 100%. So for those of you who just came only for the training, have no interest in coaching, great time to drop off. And for those of you who want to know what support looks like for your entire business, and hear more about our Compass One integration, stay on. And Mike is a dear friend and the co-architect of our coaching program. So Mike, I'll kick it over to you.
Excellent. And I'm just going to do two quick housekeeping things for everybody. Number one, Sheila, it was 81% if you were looking for that percentage number again. And anyone who's looking for the scripts and recordings from both today's session and yesterday's session, we're going to be sending those out tomorrow morning. We'll have session links for the recordings, and then we'll also have both decks. So if you want to pull the scripts from those particular slides and those decks, you have the ability to do so. So we will, those should go out around 11 o'clock tomorrow in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, as a heads up. Other than that, for those of you who stayed yesterday and watched a little bit of the revenue roadmap presentation, I'm going to be going through almost the identical thing. So if you are still interested in that program, I just encourage you to, ask questions, anything that might be confusing or that you want to know more about. I'm going to try to address as much as I can in a short period of time and still give you guys the ability to be on spot here and out the door by 2 o'clock. As a coaching company, I think one of the most important things that we want to address for clients and agents is just what creates bottlenecks, what creates failure. And so while many of the agents on this call, you guys have already kind of passed your 5 years, you don't necessarily fall into this percentage. This is a blaring message to me every day. This 87% fail rate in the industry is something that I had made a mission to want to change 15 years ago when I started to become a speaker and a coach. And what it really requires us to do for our clients is really dive down to where are the difficulties in your day-to-day business. And I know that everyone on this call can relate to the busyness and the difficulty it requires to balance all of these different machines within your business, right? You're doing your prospecting, you're working on transactions, you're nurturing clients, you've got customer service, you're doing research, you're trying to somehow also figure out how to do business development and admin. And you've got all of these things that when we watch agents go from one engine to another, what happens is we see start and stops in income. We see eventually burnout with the agent, right? Because they're just like, oh my God, I'm working so hard all of the time. And it's a consistent problem within almost every business model within our industry. And so when we wanted to create a coaching program that was really going to support clients and was going to support their entire business, a full business approach, we wanted to look at these aspects. And so what we realized was that consistency and systems were the two missing ingredients for success. If I look at, super successful agents, big teams, things of that nature, they do these two things really, really well. And so consistency and systems. So when we started to design this program, a lot of it was created around how do we help agents get more consistent with their practice, prospecting, reaching out, and how do we create the systems that allow them the efficiency so that you can focus all of your attention on the things that you do great, right? Meeting people, closing deals, like actually working the transactions, the stuff that you enjoy. I will say this, when you join Compass, one of the main reasons people join Compass is because of the $1.6 billion tech platform. And that's exciting because it is a huge advantage. It's also a lot to take on, and it's a lot to digest, and it's a lot to figure out. As you guys have learned over the last 2 days, it's a lot to figure out, how do I put all of this technology to work on my behalf as a single solo individual? So I think, the advantages that we can provide as a coaching company, it really comes down to a few different things. Number one, and this is, I think, one of our biggest advantages is just us being exclusive to Compass. We don't work with anybody else. We don't work with other brokerages. We work exclusively with Compass. So we know the processes, we know the teams, we know the systems, we know the technology. We also have all of our coaching program fully integrated into Compass One. So that means our scripts, our documents, our emails, the what to send and what to say and what to do next, all of that is already integrated. We have fully built Compass specific systems. We have a great customer support team. In fact, I know some of our customer support team is online today with us today. Our average client sees a 300 plus return on investment in regards to our program. And we track that. I'm going to give you guys a couple testimonials on that here in a minute. And then we've created, in a Compass world, we've created a huge community where agent referrals and just connections and networking has become a part of our culture. So there's a lot of unique benefits that we offer to our clients when it comes to our program. Our hero program was built for you as an agent. It's a proven system to grow your business, your life, and your bank account. And our main focus of all coaching is how do you generate more revenue and how do you create more time? How do you create that efficiency so that you can just focus on doing more things that you really enjoy? Most of the clients that we work with experience one of these 4 significant kind of desires. Either A, they want more money. Like they're like, hey, I either need more money because the business hasn't been working for me the way I wanted, or they just really want to accelerate. Like they have a ton of dreams that they want to go after. They want more confidence. They want to know what to say, how to say it, and to get the repetition and reps that's required in order for them to really build and feel that confidence. A lot of our clients are too busy. They're like, I don't know how to manage more. I don't know how to take on more, but I want to. And so we help them become more efficient. And some of our clients want control. They want to be able to say, listen, I want to be able to put this into action. I want to be able to build a team. I want to develop a team. I want to have more control over my business instead of the business having control over me. So here's what we think that most of our clients look to create when it comes to the end of the road. Creating a consistent year-round revenue, right? Creating efficient systems that will help achieve better live-work balance. Getting more agent referrals, like from actual Compass agents specifically, creating a bigger referral network, being able to understand how to use the integrations and use more of the Compass tech platform, like we are experts in that, and then provide an environment of expert training, support, and advice that someone can plug into year round, not just for a period of time, not just for 1 week or a month or this webinar here, but year round, weekly, consistently throughout the business, and be able to address everything that you need. When it comes to our coaching philosophy, you as the client drove us to create a program that addresses every attribute. So for instance, let's say you're a buyer's agent. We have an amazing buyer agency track that's 12 weeks long, where every single week we are addressing everything about how to create a 5-star experience if you represent buyers. If you are interested in building more leads, you're like, I don't have enough lead volume, I don't have enough business, we have a 12-week prospecting track. And so what we look for, though, and this is really important, is that in our experience, trying to do everything all at once is an impossibility. And this is one of our advantages, right? As a coaching program, we don't recommend that you try to take the buyer track and the prospecting track and the seller track and the team leader track all at the same time. We want you to become an expert in something. We know that by focusing in your efforts for 12 weeks at a time on something that is very specific, we know the types of results that you can create and the types of things that you can put into motion. And so we always will recommend you focusing on a singular track, and that's why it's a year-round program, so that you have the ability to experience, learn, and grow your business in different areas, but one subject at a time. Accountability, right? Here led by fellow Compass agents, weekly sessions that help the learned concepts be applied. Also environments for you to build that referral network and really network with other Compass agents. So if you look at our sessions, all of our sessions are live. Chirag does about 90 to 95% of all of the sessions when it comes to these various tracks. We have other specialty coaches like myself and a few others that teach various topics throughout the actual year. But there's lots of interaction. There's always Q&A in those sessions. And if you look at how the week gets broken up, if you focus on that singular track, 30 minutes is dedicated to learning, 30 minutes is dedicated to accountability and application. So it's 60 minutes is the total commitment that we ask for per week from a student or a participant within the program, right? Weekly sessions, they rotate, or I should say repeat every 12 weeks. So you can take something over, you can join a different particular track. There's lots of different ways for you to be involved throughout the year. Some testimonials. I love showing people like what are actual agents right now doing in our program. These are real results. These are things that agents report to us. And I think the most important part here is that a lot of these agents got these results by going to literally just one like 60-minute session. And so Carolyn Figueroa, I'll read you this. She used our core prospecting fundamentals that she learned in our sessions to basically get her out of her comfort zone. And within 1 week of just consistent effort, she landed a listing appointment just from her new techniques. That was 1 week of consistency, right? If I look at Gretchen Coley, many of you guys know Gretchen. She has grown a team consistently. She's the top agent in her marketplace. She uses the revenue roadmap, guys, to help train all of her team members. If you are a team leader, you should know that our membership includes up to 10 of your team members. And so her team members use our particular systems, our training. She doesn't have to do that as a team leader. She can just say, here's your training, here's where you're going to plug in. That allows Gretchen to focus on the things that are really important to her as a market leader. She's also accredits her rapid growth to the principles that she learned in Chirag's team leader track, in developing her value systems, in developing her pitch, and in developing her recruiting approach. We've got agents, guys, that report they landed a $6.5 million deal by just using one approach or 5-star service approach that Chirag teaches. We've got another agent, Danielle Ochoa. She landed a $3.6 million listing by using just the Med-C method of pre-qualification and leveraging his advice on how to functionally pitch the Compass 3-phase marketing that you guys just watched. So we've got dozens and dozens of these testimonials. We get these types of reports every 12-week sessions, and these are real Compass agents just like you. So the cost of our program, it's a $3,500 investment or $400 a month if you are an individual agent. I mean, that is literally probably what most of you guys spend, per month at Starbucks or something of that nature. $3,500 gives you access to everything all year round. If you are a team leader, it's $5,500. That's the investment, and that includes up to 10 team members or 12 payments of $625. I'll tell you guys from a perspective of like, what does this mean? This means that one transaction, and I'll show you some stats here in a second, but one transaction not only returns your investment, but like doubles, triples, quadruples the investment that you put forth into this, depending on the size of that transaction, if you just learn how to do one more transaction throughout the year. We only allow entry 3 times a year. We only do it 3 times. That has to do with tracks. It has to do with seasons. This happens to be one of the times where we do allow entry. And I would argue that the spring is one of the best times to join because you're ramping up systems. You want the confidence, you want the support, you want the accountability right now to really run all the way through the summer. And so the deadline to register is March 31st. That is next Monday. You'll be receiving emails that give you the link. We would love to talk with you if you have questions or you have problems, things of that nature. But our next sessions begin April 7th, which is a Monday. And we want to be able to give you guys time to onboard, get access to our platform, and really get moving. So deadline is March 31st. Here's our return on the investment. I love this like little just image. One deal, if you're an individual membership, and this is based on a $500,000 transaction at 2.5% commission, guys, is a 417% return on investment. Right? As a team leader, it's still in the 200s. And then if you go 3, 4, 5 deals, like, could you imagine if we went to Las Vegas and I said, put $3,500 down on this and you're going to get a 417% return on investment every single time? We would never leave the casino, not until like literally our name was on the building. And so we believe in this so much. Like and Chirag can always speak to this. He will always back this. We offer a money back guarantee. We offer 100% money back guarantee. And that means that we believe in this so much that if you put in the effort, you attend tracks, you do the work, you actually put what we recommend into action, and you don't increase at least one transaction by the end of the year, we will absolutely refund your money to any of our particular programs. I'm going to make sure that we have the links for individual registration and team registration in the chat, and I will open it up for questions as well. Let me see here. Let's stop my share. And
I see somebody sent me a question. I think sometimes, Mike, they send it privately on Zoom.
Yeah, no worries. Go right ahead.
Are all the sessions recorded? Yes, the sessions are recorded. And I'll show you guys all of this really quickly. So these stuff don't randomly live in like a Google Drive somewhere. We actually have a platform that you all have access to. So from courses that are here and past recordings to look, most real estate agents' businesses happen in real time. So you could be going on a listing appointment, say, I need a communication plan for my next listing appointment. So you sit here, and this is what we talk about of ease of information and just being able to apply what you learned, right? So you could have something here about sharing your marketing calendar, your plan. You can go into a video for training, and it will literally give you exactly what you want within seconds. Right? So I click this button here, and all of a sudden now, predictable you need. The reality is I'm on a training platform, right? Where the goal is, look, I think from my perspective, we wanted to do a couple things. One, we wanted to own all the risk, right? Meaning if something goes bad and you actually attended all the sessions, it's on us. So going through this for the year, as a company, it holds us accountable to delivering to you. We know accountability is a big thing. We actually have, when Mike talks about customer service, we actually have somebody here that works here as the head of happiness. And her whole job is to literally make sure that you show up to the sessions and you do what you need to do. And she checks in on you throughout the year. With a lot of the clients we have monthly, right? So, and the third and the last part, I believe, is, integration is the key to the future, right? We need one, right? So if you're on yesterday's webinar, we want to integrate, the transaction meets the technology and integrate it into one place. So you know what to say, what to send, what to do next, and no more guesswork. And so when you're able to learn something like this and you hear stories of those other agents, that's the next person on there is you. Right? Because the only difference that is they decided to invest in themselves, bet on themselves, join the program, show up, listen, follow directions, and follow through, and the results speak for themselves, right? You look at any great athlete, they will attribute their success to either their mom, their dad, their coach, that person that pushed them out of their comfort zone and helped them unlock their promise and realize their potential, right? I don't think growth and success is like mutually exclusive for anybody here. It's for anyone that makes a choice that wants to do so. So if you're sitting here, you're probably wondering some of the things, is this for me? Will this make sense? Does this work for my market, right? Because that's what I generally find when people are still here at the end. So there's like 80 of you here. So if you have any questions, ask. I put my personal email in the chat. Either myself or Mike will connect with you. And look, I believe that this is the greatest opportunity that we ever have in our business. Like the world is splitting like this. I think for us as Compass agents, the NAR settlement has created like this window here. For those of us who want to really accelerate our income, our growth, create work-life balance, all the systems and technology that you need to do that are here. You just need to know what to say, how to use them, and how to work with your clients with them. And that's our job. Right? Your job is to build relationships, provide great service, and help your clients hit their goals. So look, I'm going to jump off. Mike's going to stay on. If you guys have any questions, we both put our things in. As always, love in my heart. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And for many of you, I look forward to you guys joining our community. And Mike, stay on, because once one person actually asks the real question, then like 5 others.
I got you. Thanks, guys. I've also I've allowed you guys the ability to unmute yourself. So if you do have a question, you want to just ask it versus trying to chat it. That's totally fine. I mean, team leaders, it's a big thing. And I couldn't see who just posted that, but like, I can't stress enough the value of what a team leader can have from this program, because you do have the ability to put up to 10 members into the program. And that doesn't have to be right at the start. So if you have 4 members right now and you're like, I want to recruit a team, what a great recruiting mission to be like, hey, join my team and you get to plug into this annual coaching program that I'm going to provide to you at no cost. And it's a great recruiting mechanism as well. Would this benefit a new agent? Astrid, yes, 1,000%. I swear to you, I wish I would have had some of the insight, especially in the prospecting track when I was a brand new agent. It took me, I was probably in my 5th year before I really truly learned how to prospect and really push through. I absolutely think that this should be a standard for new agents. I do get the question a lot too, and I don't see it today, but I saw it yesterday, is can I use marketing dollars? If you have marketing dollars with Compass, 1,000% you can use marketing dollars on this. You purchase the program, we can help you send in or submit for reimbursement on that. But this is absolutely something that you can use marketing dollars for. Other questions? Sylvia, you're the only one staring me in the face when it comes to a video, so I'm going to call you out. You all good? Any questions from?
I'm just thinking, I'm borderline. Half of me wants to jump back on the coaching, sales management side, and the other half, I just have this love for sales. So I just don't know which way to go. That's
so
what I'm with.
So when it comes, you mean like considering like team lead versus something else?
Yeah, actually, literally going in the admin on the management side versus staying in sales. It's the angel and the devil.
Yeah, no, because one's got that like, paycheck thing that we like to talk about, and the other one's got this like pain in the butt thing where we got to be constantly running it through. I mean, I will tell you that this program from a sales side, right, it has the ability to help you understand how to make the sales side a lot less difficult and a lot more manageable. And I don't know any corporate side jobs. And again, that doesn't, I've been self-employed for 25 years. Okay. But I don't know any corporate jobs that if you were to turn on and be moderately successful in real estate, like give it 36 months of just like, I know what to do now. I've got the systems. I've got now the consistency that can touch what you can create revenue wise from the sales side.
Yeah. And I disagree. And when I say corporate, let me define real estate going on to the sales manager side.
Yeah, I mean, you've got income, you've got a bonus, you've got these things. I will tell you, like, those have been my clients for a very long time. I've been consulting with brokerages for years. I'm still telling you, like, I know career professionals that do easily $500,000 to $650,000 in net. That's how they're split, right? And work 75% of what the normal career person is working, making 200, 150, things of that nature. But that's because they understand the progression of the systems and they understand where the consistency has to be placed.
Yeah. And I think the bigger thing is I'm 16 years full-time next month.
Okay.
It's always been a roller coaster, right? And it's never been consistent. So it's just a struggle bus right now.
I mean, I can tell you through one session, second session of prospecting, why that is right there. Like it's one little fix. It's a little bit complicated of a fix, but there is one fix when it comes to our traditional sense of how we generate leads and keep a pipeline full that is broken for literally like 90% of most agents that are out there.
Wow.
So again, happy to continue to discuss, continue to answer questions, explore things. Audrey, I see your question as well. Explain how your accountability segment works exactly. Sure. So from an accountability standpoint, every one of our tracks has a different accountability coach or leader. So for instance, I've been coaching our prospecting track. So I am then in charge of the accountability. Chirag coaches like 90% of everything else. But that means then there is an actual Compass agent who we've worked with, who understands our program, understands our philosophies, understands like how we coach and what we want from people. They're the ones that run the accountability sessions, and they all get to choose how they run their accountability sessions. So an accountability session might be role plays, it might be breakouts, it might be networking for a day, it might just be a Q&A, it might be working on something that is formable within that particular track. It kind of depends on the actual track and the accountability coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I did coaching with another very well-known coaching company. It's quite expensive. It really did work for a while, but the thing I did not care for was I had to spend a lot of time like projecting numbers, and that is not for me. And I felt like if I had to spend an hour a day trying to figure out, okay, well, here's my numbers from last year, and then quarter by quarter, and then month by month, I spent so much time tracking and projecting. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
I'll tell you, my one-on-one coaching intake form used to have that, right? I used to take agents and be like, hey, let's get down to the dirty on your numbers. And there is something to be said about numbers. Like when you focus on numbers, you can do nothing but get better. But we don't go through that. And the reason is that you crunching numbers to know where you are last year doesn't effectively actually change the way that I'm going to teach you how to be effective tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And which is why it didn't work for me. And I ended up stopping coaching because I felt like I was spending more time like saying, okay, to get to my goal of, making X amount, then I need to sell X amount this month. Well, I can't predict that my clients, even if they call me today, that they're going to be selling next month or this month. And so I felt that that was so difficult to project and kind of a waste of my time, essentially. Whereas I wanted more skills on how to keep my mindset there. Like, what can I say? How do I say it? How do I not sound like a salesperson and feel very genuine and authentic? So I was more interested in that part of coaching rather than tracking numbers, because that's where they lost me. So I was just wondering if you spent a lot of time on that.
We do. We spend a lot of time on what to say because it's really important for people to understand that, number one, we have scripts, right? We have scripts, but one of the basic components of scripts is to never follow a script.
Yes. You don't want it to sound like a script, because I hang up on scripts when they call me on the phone.
No, and it's one of those things that if you think about language is the dress of thought. And this is one of the ideologies within our coaching platform. And if you look at like how I think and how I dress a sentence, it's based on my personality, my culture, my background, right? And so if I look at how do we say things and say, well, here's a script, right? That doesn't work. That's what the accountability sessions are for. It's about adapting an approach that has worked or has success and understanding the idea of the approach, right? Like, what are the components that make someone say, oh, yeah, I would love to talk with you. Like, for instance, I could give you guys, everybody here on the call, we've got 50 people. I could give you all a prospecting script and say, here's what you need to do is call everyone on your list and say these things. And at the end of the day, a few of you, maybe a handful, are going to be successful, utilizing that script. But if I were to say, listen, our goal in prospecting is to create conversations. And from those conversations, extract information that allows us to suggest, right, activities that are higher impact for us in conversion. You understand then the adoption of, okay, my goal isn't necessarily to say, hi, it's so-and-so from Compass Real Estate, right? It's my job is to get you to discuss real estate. And so by understanding, if I ask you about your opinion or a different kind of question approach, that you are likely to engage in a conversation around real estate, you don't need a script at that point, because it's not going to matter what you say, because most of the time you're just asking questions, right? And so when we talk about scripting, that's how we kind of isolate and break through. How to personalize something is helping you understand the purpose of the approach so that you understand why the words that we chose are the words that we chose. But then it allows you to choose any word set that you want.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions, guys? Astrid, absolutely. Keep us in the loop too. If you have other questions, like I said, guys, there's lots of ways to get into the program, from a bulk purchase to a monthly to using marketing dollars. Like, we are here to help you guys be creative with that kind of stuff. So if it is something that you want to sign up for and you want to get into the program, but you feel like you have some form of circumstance or hesitation, just get on the phone with us. You can shoot me an email, mike@chiragshahcoaching.com. I just put it in the chat as well. And just let us know what it is. And if we have a solution, we're going to provide that solution for you. But I will say, if I don't have any other questions, I'll let you guys get back to your day. Thank you guys for taking the time and jumping on. Sylvia, thank you for participating. And thanks everybody for taking 2 days to really plug in and work with us. We hope you guys got some value out of this. Have a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you guys soon.